This High Court case began when Mr. Fisher was driving his tractor along the Princes Highway in Victoria at night. The evidence was that the tractor was reasonably lit, but that it was travelling, obviously, much more slowly than the rest of the traffic on a major highway. Ryan's car approached it from behind and collided with it. Ryan first argued that the tractor had been inadequately lit. When he failed on that point, he argued that Fisher ought to have driven the tractor off the side of the road, on the gravel verge, and that this would have averted the accident. In making this argument, Ryan relied quite explicitly on what we now call the calculus of negligence, that the response to a duty of care should be measured according to the probability of the risk, the gravity or seriousness of the risk, and the practicability of the response. The argument was that the probability and seriousness of the risk to other traffic was high and that the cost of driving on the gravel was low. The court specifically accepted that the calculus of negligence, which had not long previously been established under United States law, was also the law in Australia. Justice Stevens said, "Thus the appellant says, no doubt correctly, that in determining whether a defendant's course of conduct involves any breach of that duty which he owes to others, there should be considered the risks inherent in that conduct, the seriousness of the consequences should any of those risks eventuate, and the opportunities reasonably available to the defendant of reducing or wholly eliminating those risks." I should have thought that considerations such as these must undoubtedly, in almost every negligence case, enter consciously or unconsciously into the determination of the issue whether any breach of duty has occurred. Applying that calculus, though, the court found that because the trailer had its lights properly illuminated, and because there was nothing about the road itself which made it more dangerous, the probability of harm was not so high. And because the gravel verge was not wide enough and was an uncertain surface on which to drive, it was not reasonable to ask Fisher to drive off the road. In the end, the court determined that Ryan simply had not been paying enough attention, and so his action in negligence failed.